Hey friends, welcome back to the English Speaking Show.
So happy to have you with us today. And Jake, before we start, can I ask you something about this morning?
About this morning? Sure.
You sent me a message explaining why you were late to our planning call. Do you remember what you wrote?
I wrote something like, "Sorry, I'm running late because of the meeting ran longer than expected."
Yes, that.
Was that wrong?
It was almost right. You used because of, but then you put a full sentence after it. The meeting ran longer than expected. That is a full sentence, a subject and a verb.
And because of cannot do that?
Because of needs a thing after it, not a sentence. You could say because of the long meeting, or you could say because the meeting ran longer than expected with just because. No of.
So one tiny word, of, changes everything.
One tiny word. And that is exactly what we are talking about today. Because of, and due to. 3 expressions, same meaning, completely different grammar.
And most people genuinely could not tell the difference between them.
So true. By the end of this episode, you will have one clear test you can run every single time. And we are going to tell you something about the word because that your teacher probably got wrong.
Something my teacher got wrong?
Stay with us.
So let's start with because and because of. Both introduce a reason, both answer why, but what comes after them is completely different.
Because introduces a full clause, a subject and a verb.
She left early because she was tired. Subject, she, verb, was tired.
Because of introduces a noun or a noun phrase. No subject, no verb, just a thing.
She left early because of her headache. Her headache, one thing, that is all.
And both sentences mean exactly the same thing.
Same meaning, completely different structure. That is the whole trap.
Let us try one side by side. I will do because, you do because of.
Go ahead.
I couldn't sleep because the neighbors were loud.
I couldn't sleep because of the noise.
See? Same situation. Because kept the full sentence. Because of compressed it into one thing.
Let's try another one.
He was late because the train was delayed.
He was late because of the train delay.
The reason is identical. The structure is completely different.
One more.
She got the promotion because she performed brilliantly.
She got the promotion because of her brilliant performance.
Every time, because keeps the full thought. Because of compresses it into a noun phrase.
That compression is the key. Once you add of, your sentence has to stop at a noun.
I missed the meeting because my phone died. Correct.
I missed the meeting because of my phone. Also correct.
I missed the meeting because of my phone died. Wrong. Because of cannot lead into a clause.
Why does that feel so natural, though, even when it is wrong?
Because and because of sound almost identical. The of is small, easy to miss, but it completely changes what must follow.
I learned this the hard way. I wrote a professional email to a client. We had to push the deadline because of the scope kept changing.
Oh no.
I know, I had proofread it twice. My colleague caught it. I wanted to disappear.
Because of the changing scope, that works. Because of the scope kept changing, that does not.
Because of needs a noun, the scope, a noun. The scope kept changing, a clause. Very different things.
Now, because of is more flexible than most people think.
Because of is more flexible than most people think. Because of needs a noun. The changing scope, a noun. The scope kept changing, a clause. Very different things.
Now, because of is more flexible than most people think.
It works with object pronouns as well.
Right. I got into trouble because of him.
It all fell apart because of her.
Object pronouns are nouns, so because of accepts them.
And possessive adjectives with a noun. Because of his decision. Because of my mistake.
Same logic. His decision, a noun phrase. My mistake, a noun phrase. Because of is happy.
and gerunds, the ing form.
This one surprises people. Because of arriving late, she missed the briefing.
The ing form is functioning as a noun there, so because of accepts it.
Because of not following up, he lost the client.
That is a painful sentence, also a true one from my life.
Same. Different client, same lesson.
So because of can take a noun phrase, a pronoun, a possessive, or an ing verb. Everything except a full clause.
The boundary is simple. The moment there is a subject and a verb, because of cannot go there. Use because instead.
Now, something about because that most learners were told incorrectly.
Never start a sentence with because.
Not a real rule.
Genuinely not a real rule. The problem was sentence fragments. Because I was tired, no main clause. That is the problem.
But because I was tired, I left early, completely correct.
Because the brief changed, we had to start again. Correct.
Because the supplier was late, we lost a week. Correct.
The because clause, a comma, then the main clause. That is the only rule.
I spent years rewriting sentences to avoid starting with because for absolutely nothing.
The rule was invented to stop students writing fragments, not to ban the word from the beginning of a sentence.
Now, because and so, same event, opposite direction.
I was tired, so I left early. Cause first, result second.
Flip it. I left early because I was tired. Result first, cause second.
Same situation. You just choose where you want to start.
Let us try one. The traffic was terrible, so she was late. Flip it. She was late because the traffic was terrible.
Exact same event, just told from the other direction.
One more.
He forgot to follow up, so he lost the contract.
Flip it. He lost the contract because he forgot to follow up.
Every so sentence has a because version living inside it.
And the only error is using both at once. Because I was tired, so I left. Wrong. You choose one connector.
One sentence, one connector. That is all it needs.
And a quick one before we move on. If you ever hear cause or cause, especially in British English, that is just because, shortened in casual speech.
'Cause I forgot. Can't come 'cause of the rain. Same word, very informal. Not wrong, just casual.
And one small thing. The reason is because. Very common, very human, but redundant.
Because already means for the reason that.
So the reason is because says the same thing twice.
The clean version, the reason is that. The reason I was late is that the traffic was terrible.
You will hear the reason is because constantly, even from native speakers. It will not confuse anyone, but in writing, the reason is that is the sharp version.
Right. Now, let us hear all of this in a real conversation. I'll be the senior stakeholder. You explain why the report was delayed.
And friends, notice every because and because of. Notice what follows each one.
So, the report was not delivered on Friday. Walk me through what happened.
Of course, the data we needed came in late because our supplier missed the Wednesday cutoff.
And the internal review?
That moved too because of the senior team meeting that ran into Thursday afternoon.
So the whole timeline shifted.
It did. And honestly, the final delay was partly because of my own assumption. I assumed the data would be late, so I did not start the sections I could have started without it.
I appreciate you being direct about that.
It will not happen again. Because of this experience, I have already put a new process in place for external dependencies.
Good. Let's talk about the revised delivery date. Let us pull out the key moments.
Because our supplier missed the cutoff. Because full clause, subject and verb.
Because of the senior team meeting. Because of noun phrase, one thing, no verb.
Because of my own assumption. Because of, again, noun phrase.
And at the end, because of this experience, I have already put a new process in place. Because of at the start of a sentence, comma, then the main clause, completely correct.
And at no point did because of appear before a full clause.
That is the discipline. The of signals a noun is coming. The sentence stops there.
If this is helping, please subscribe. New episodes several times every week. Real English for real adult life.
Now, due to, and it has something in it that most learners genuinely don't know.
Most learners think it is simply a formal version of because of.
And they are half right. That is one of its meanings. But there is a second meaning that is completely different, and we will get to that.
Let us start with the first one, due to as a reason expression.
It works best after a form of to be. The delay was due to a technical fault. Was, a form of to be, a technical fault, a noun phrase.
Her absence was due to illness. The cancellation was due to poor weather. Same structure every time.
And there's a quick test for this. Replace due to with caused by. If the sentence still makes sense, due to is correct.
The delay was caused by a technical fault. That makes sense, so due to works there.
Now try it where it should not go. She was late caused by the traffic.
That sounds wrong immediately.
Because due to does not belong there. She was late because of the traffic. Because of is the right choice in that sentence.
Now, there's an honest conversation to have here. In real life, people use due to after verbs constantly. The game was canceled due to rain. You hear this everywhere.
And strictly speaking, traditional grammar says because of should go there. Due to should modify a noun, not a verb.
But in everyday speech and increasingly in professional writing, most native speakers do not observe this distinction.
So the honest position is this. In casual conversation, both work and nobody will notice. In careful, formal writing, reports, emails, academic work, the traditional rule still matters. Knowing the rule gives you the choice.
And one trap that's worth naming directly, due to the fact that.
Always replace it with because. The picnic was canceled due to the fact that it was raining, clunky and wordy.
The picnic was canceled because it was raining. That's shorter, cleaner, and more professional every single time.
Due to the fact that adds nothing. It just sounds like someone trying very hard to be formal and ending up sounding clunky instead.
Now, let us put all three expressions side by side. Same situation. A report was not delivered on time.
The report was not delivered because the data arrived late. That's because. Full clause after it with a subject and a verb.
Now, because of, the report was not delivered because of the late data. Because of, and then a noun phrase. One thing, no verb.
And due to. The non-delivery of the report was due to the late data. Due to, noun phrase after was. And notice the whole sentence had to restructure. The non-delivery, a noun, because due to needs to sit after a noun.
That restructuring is what most people miss. Due to doesn't just swap into any sentence. The sentence sometimes has to change shape around it.
Let's try one more set, something that actually happened this morning.
I left the house late. 3 ways to explain it.
I left the house late because I couldn't find my keys. That is because. Full clause after it.
I left the house late because of my keys. That is because of. One noun. The reason compressed into a single thing.
My late departure was due to the missing keys. That is due to, noun phrase after was, and the structure restructured again. My late departure, a noun, because due to needs one.
3 sentences, same keys, same morning, completely different grammar.
And the meaning is identical every single time. The structure is what changes.
Now, where does each one actually live in real life? Because knowing the grammar is one thing, knowing which to reach for is something else.
Because is the most natural and the most common of the 3. It works in everyday speech, in casual emails, in any context at all.
Because of is neutral. It works in conversation and in professional writing. It is slightly more compact because it compresses the reason into a noun phrase.
And due to belongs in formal contexts. Announcements, official reports, academic writing, professional correspondence where register matters.
Here is a quick illustration. Casual text to a friend. Can't make it because of the traffic. Because of fits perfectly there.
Train announcement. Services are disrupted due to engineering works. Due to fits exactly in that context.
And there are 2 more expressions in this family that are worth knowing, at least for recognition when you encounter them.
Owing to, very formal, almost literary. Owing to unforeseen circumstances, the event has been postponed. You will see this in formal letters and official announcements. Same meaning as due to, slightly more elevated in register.
And as a result of the investigation, 3 employees were dismissed. This one emphasizes the consequence more than the cause.
Think of them as the very formally dressed cousins of because of. You do not need to use them every day, but when you encounter them, you will know exactly where they sit.
Never seen at casual dinners. Now, the second meaning of due to, and this one genuinely surprises people.
Nothing to do with cause at all.
Due to can mean scheduled, expected, planned to happen. The meeting is due to start at 3. That does not mean the meeting was caused by 3 o'clock.
Which would be a very strange meeting.
It means the meeting is scheduled to start at 3. Due to plus a verb, that's the scheduled meaning.
And the structure tells you which meaning you are dealing with.
Exactly. Due to plus a noun phrase, cause. Due to plus a verb, scheduled. The vote is due to take place on Thursday. Scheduled, not caused by. The results are due to be announced tomorrow. Expected, planned to happen.
The train is due to arrive at platform 4. You hear this every single day on public transit.
And I had always connected that to the causal due to. Same words, completely different meaning. I genuinely never separated them until recently.
This is a real comprehension gap for learners. If you only know due to as caused by, you genuinely cannot understand the game is due to start at 7.
Because you are searching for a cause and there is not one.
The structure saves you every time. Noun after due to, it is a cause. Verb after due to, it is a schedule.
Now, Ella has a story about due to.
I do. I was in a performance review and my manager said the delay in the quarterly report was due to the workload this quarter. Perfectly correct. Noun phrase after was.
Curious, and you took that home with you.
I took it home and immediately used it in an email to a colleague. I wrote, I cannot attend the meeting due to I have a conflicting call.
Oh no.
My colleague, a native speaker, wrote back and said, did you mean because of a conflicting call? I thought he was wrong. I looked it up. He was not.
Because due to needs a noun after it, not a full clause with a subject and a verb.
Due to a conflicting call, correct. Noun phrase. Due to I have a conflicting call, a full sentence after due to. That is the error.
And this is almost exactly the mirror of what I did. I used because of before a full clause. You used due to before a full clause. Same mistake, different word.
We got it wrong in exactly the same direction.
Which is genuinely reassuring. These errors catch everyone.
The lesson is this. When you pick up a formal expression by ear and want to use it, the grammar has to come with it. The word alone is not enough.
Now, thanks to, because this one carries something the others do not.
Due to is neutral. It does not care whether the outcome is good or bad. Thanks to carries warmth, credit, and appreciation.
The project succeeded thanks to the whole team's effort. That is warm. That gives credit.
Now try the same sentence with due to. The project succeeded due to the team's effort. That is a report. Accurate, neutral, no warmth.
Due to files the information. Thanks to says, well done. That is the entire difference.
When you want credit to land warmly, when the appreciation matters, thanks to is the word.
And one more structure that comes up constantly in professional life. Not because, but because.
This one is used when someone has the wrong idea about why something happened. You correct the misunderstanding directly and cleanly.
I am raising this not because of the outcome, but because of the process. The outcome is not the issue. The process is.
She resigned not because of the salary, but because of the culture. 2 different reasons, one real, one assumed.
It redirects attention to where it actually belongs. Very precise. Very effective in professional conversations.
And just because, equally common in adult conversation.
Just because you apologized does not mean everything is fine. That rejects a false logical link.
Someone assumes that because X is true, Y must follow. Just because pushes back on that assumption directly.
Right. The central memorable rule. All three together.
Because needs a sentence.
Because of needs a noun.
And due to needs formality.
12 words, 3 expressions, 1 rule. Write it somewhere you will see it.
Now, let us hear all of this in a real conversation. I will play the friend who missed the dinner. You be the one who cooked.
And friends, listen for every causal expression in this conversation. Notice which structure appears where, and notice where due to goes wrong. Hello?
Hey, I'm so sorry about tonight. I know you cooked.
I did cook, yes.
I want to explain. The delay in leaving the office was due to an urgent client call that came in at 6.
Okay.
And then the situation with the train was due to a platform change at the last minute.
You can just say because of.
Because of a platform change. And then I sat on the next train and did not call you because I was embarrassed. That one is just on me.
That one I appreciate the most, actually.
The whole evening did not happen because of my poor planning this week. Not because of the client, not because of the train, mostly because of me.
Come over Saturday. I will cook again.
I will absolutely be there, and I'm bringing dessert thanks to the fact that I feel genuinely terrible.
That is not how thanks to works.
I know, I completely panicked.
Let us pull out the key moments from that conversation.
The delay in leaving was due to an urgent client call. Due to, noun phrase, after was. That's correct, formal, appropriate even in a personal call.
But the situation with the train was due to a platform change. Technically, the grammar is right, but due to in a personal phone call to a friend starts to sound stiff and formal. Because of fits much more naturally there.
I sat on the next train and did not call you because I was embarrassed. That is because, full clause, and it was the most natural and honest line in the entire conversation.
And because of my poor planning, because of, noun phrase, simple, direct. And that was actually the most effective part of the whole apology.
And thanks to the fact that I feel terrible, that is not how thanks to works at all.
Thanks to is for positive outcomes. Guilt and embarrassment do not qualify as positive outcomes.
The correct version there, because I feel terrible, I'm bringing dessert, because, full clause, clean and completely honest.
Now, your turn to practice. We are going to give you a sentence and you choose because of, or due to.
Say your answer out loud. Then we will tell you which one is correct and why.
Sentence 1. Ready?
The flight was delayed, blank, bad weather.
Because of, or due to.
The answer, because of or due to. Both work here.
Bad weather is a noun phrase, so because of fits perfectly. The flight was delayed because of bad weather.
And due to also works, especially in a formal announcement. The flight was delayed due to bad weather. You hear this at airports constantly.
Could you use because there?
Only if you add a full clause. The flight was delayed because the weather was bad. Subject, the weather. Verb, was bad. Then because works.
But with just bad weather, 2 words, no verb, because cannot go there. Because needs a sentence after it, not a phrase.
Sentence 2.
She got the promotion because she worked incredibly hard.
Because of, or due to.
The answer, because, only because.
She worked incredibly hard. That is a full clause. Subject, she. Verb, worked. A complete thought.
Because of cannot go there. Because of needs a noun, not a full sentence.
And due to cannot go there either. Same reason. Both need a noun phrase after them, not a clause.
To use because of, you would have to compress it. She got the promotion because of her hard work. Hard work, a noun phrase. Now because of works.
One word changes the whole structure.
Sentence 3.
Blank the heavy rain, the match was canceled.
This one is at the start of the sentence. Because of, or due to.
The answer, because of or due to. Both work at the start of a sentence followed by a noun phrase.
Because of the heavy rain, the match was canceled. Because of, noun phrase, comma, main clause. Perfectly correct.
And due to the heavy rain, the match was canceled. Due to, noun phrase, comma, main clause, also correct. Slightly more formal.
Could you use because there?
Because at the start needs a full clause. Because it was raining heavily, the match was canceled. Subject, it, verb, was raining, now because works.
But because the heavy rain, the match was canceled, wrong. No verb after because. Because cannot work with just a noun phrase.
Sentence 4. This one is a little tricky. The cancellation of the event, blank, the poor weather.
Because of, or due to.
The answer, due to. Only due to works here naturally.
Look at the subject. The cancellation of the event. That is a noun. And was is the verb. The cancellation was due to the poor weather.
Due to sits after a noun, after a form of to be. This sentence is built exactly for due to.
And because of?
Because of would need a verb before it. The event was canceled because of the poor weather. The verb was canceled comes first, then because of, then the noun phrase.
But the cancellation of the event because of the poor weather, that is a fragment. No main verb. It does not work as a complete sentence.
And because?
Because needs a full clause after it. The event was canceled because the weather was poor. Subject, the weather, verb, was poor. That works. But the original sentence structure, the cancellation was, that is built for due to.
When the subject of your sentence is a noun, a cancellation, a delay, a failure, a success, and you have was after it, reach for due to.
Sentence 5, the last one.
I couldn't concentrate, blank, my colleague kept interrupting me.
Because of, or due to. The answer, because. Only because.
My colleague kept interrupting me, full clause. Subject, my colleague. Verb, kept interrupting. A complete thought with a subject and a verb.
Because of cannot follow that. Because of needs a noun. To use because of, compress it. I couldn't concentrate because of my colleague's constant interruptions.
Interruptions, a noun. Now, because of works.
And due to, same issue, needs a noun phrase. My inability to concentrate was due to the constant interruptions. Noun subject, my inability. Due to, noun phrase after was. Now, due to works.
But in real life, if someone interrupts you constantly and you cannot concentrate, you are going to say because, not my inability to concentrate was due to.
Nobody restructures their sentence mid-frustration.
Because is for real life. Due to is for the report you write about real life.
And because of sits comfortably in between.
That is the whole picture. 3 expressions, 3 different structures, 1 clear test. What comes after it?
Full sentence with a subject and verb, because.
Noun or noun phrase, because of or due to, depending on formality.
And if you're not sure, because of is always the safe choice. It works in almost every context without sounding wrong.
Now drop your own sentence in the comments. Use any of the 3. Tell us your situation. We'll tell you if the structure is right.
And if you got all 5 correct just now, we are very impressed.
Now it's time to bring it together. 3 expressions. Same meaning, different grammar.
Always remember that because needs a full sentence after it, subject and verb.
Because of needs a noun or noun phrase, one thing, no verb.
Due to needs formality, most natural after is or was. And it also means scheduled. The meeting is due to start at 3. Completely different meaning, same words.
The central rule.
Because needs a sentence, because of needs a noun, and due to needs formality.
And one more thing, starting a sentence with because is completely fine. That rule was never real.
Never real. We said it.
Now, your comment challenge. Something that changed recently in your life. Tell us why using one of today's 3 structures. Choose the one that fits.
Mine, I rescheduled a call because of a deadline I had completely forgotten about.
Mine, I was late this morning because my coffee took longer than my meeting allowed.
Drop yours in the comments. We read every one.
And if this episode helped, please subscribe. New episodes every week. Real English for real adult life.
Thank you for being here today, friends. See you in the next one.
Take care, everyone.